Park as the Pierre Post State team will take on the Mitchell Colonels here this afternoon in the first game of the 2020 season. It's been 86 days since we've last been on the air with a broadcast of any kind. It was at the state hockey tournament the last time we were on air with Riverfront Broadcasting Sports from March 13th now to June 7th as we are here this afternoon. It is a special day, a good, nice, warm day with some strong winds. We had those strong winds last night in the Fort Pierre area, but we had some stronger winds. So a little bit of a rain shower came through earlier, but that's since cleared away, and we are getting set for our first game of the 2020 season. Joe Wickler here with you on this Sunday afternoon. We'll go through the starting lineup, have their pitching matchups for today's game. I do want to say that Mitchell played twice yesterday. They took on Rapid City Post 22 out in Rapid. They went 0-2 in those two games, but with Post 22, it's a pretty good measuring stick to see where you're at to begin the season. You're going to play them later on in July. We're going to see Post 22 and Rapid this coming Friday, which, again, you'll be able to hear on today's KCCR, today'sKCCR.com. So with that, we'll take our first break here on the pregame show here in this 2020 season, the Lighthold McNeely and Lighthold pregame show. We'll step aside for 3 minutes. We'll come back and we'll have our pregame interview with Coach Brian White of the Bank West pregame interview. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. And we welcome you back here to Mitchell as we get set for opening day of 2020 of the Legion season. As we'll talk more about the schedule, we'll talk more about what the season will look like. But it's under the Pierre Post dates, Mitchell will play under their post as well. But it's technically not a Legion season. It's a separate season, but the American Legions of South Dakota have agreed to help support financially all these teams in the state. But it's not we won't see after the state tournament, we won't see a regional tournament or a World Series like we're used to seeing out of the Legion summer season. But we'll talk more about that and how the tournament's going to look as the playoffs will get into the state tournament. We'll discuss all that as we go through here in the next several hours, the next two games here on today's KCCR, KCCR.com. Go through the starting lineups, and for Pierre Post State, a lot of guys are returning in this lineup, and we'll start with the pitcher, Jack Van Camp. You heard him. We talked about him and his how long the leash will be. It will be determined on how well he does in the first couple innings and the amount of stress pitches that he has in the first couple of innings here for this first game. The rest of the lineup, all but one guy has got multiple at-bats against the Mitchell team from last year. We'll start with Andrew Coverdale. He's leading off playing second base. He had the team leading batting average at .307 last summer. River Iverson, who went 5 for 13, the best out of anybody against Mitchell. He's batting second, playing left field. Garrett Stout will bat third, play shortstop. Andy Gordon will be in the cleanup spot. He's the first baseman, followed by Gray is able to designate a hitter. He's got a chance to play this summer, which before it looked like if everything was stayed normal, it would have been a high school season that he would have been able to play for the Pierre Governors and then had to go and be a part of North Dakota State for football. But he'll kind of do a little bit of both this summer and get ready for football in the fall with North Dakota State, but also play here this summer for Pierre Post State. McGuire Raskey, he's in right field, batting at sixth. Batting seventh to playing third base, the newcomer Lincoln Keenel is the freshman from this past season. An excellent basketball season, the backup quarterback for the Pierre Governor football team, and will most likely, as we see, maybe as we saw at the end of last year, might be that starting quarterback going into this fall for this year for the Pierre Governors. And he's playing third base, batting seventh. Matt Luskin can bat eighth, plays center field. Ken Hinkle, the catcher, he's back in his familiar spot. He's batting ninth in the catcher's position with Jack Van Camp on the mound. For Mitchell, Jonah Schmidt is the shortstop leading off. Austin Kerr will bat second, playing third base. Kobe Larson will bat third, playing second. Brady Hawkins, the pitcher, batting fourth. Peyton Nash will bat fifth, playing center field. Brady Burrows batting sixth, playing first base. Ryan McGinnis catching, batting seventh. Nick Lord batting eighth, playing right field. And Isaac Rue batting ninth, playing left field. We'll pause. We'll step aside for 2 minutes for the national anthem. We'll come back and we'll have first pitch for you of the 2020 season. After this, you're listening to today's listen to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com.
If everyone could rise and face the flag, please remove your hats at the point of the national anthem. Starting lineups for both teams. First for Pierre Post 18, leading off playing second base, number 15, Andrew Coverdale. Batting second, playing left field, number 22, River Iverson. Batting third, playing shortstop, number 12, Garrett Stout.
To Mitchell in Commonwealth Park in the first game of the 2020 season here this summer. Andrew Coverdale will lead things off, followed by River Iverson and Garrett Stout. Those are the first three batters here for Post 8. Want to remind you, you are listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Stations. We roll up at that 1 o'clock hour. Last night we were on air for quite some time with that severe thunderstorms in the area, the severe weather coverage. Potential of severe weather could be happening again later on today. As News Director Zach Nelson, obviously watching the weather. We're going to watch the weather a little bit here. We might have to take over and talk over this game for a little while with some severe weather. If that is the case, we do have a YouTube page, a YouTube channel. You can search KCCR Sports, or you can search here at Mitchell, the outside here at Mitchell, and you can find us on there as well to live stream a preliminary YouTube stream. We'll have that up, and that'll be going on as you also watch the weather as well. Don't want to have you not watch the weather, but this game will most likely continue through that severe weather coverage if that is the case because of where the weather is going to be at. Andrew Coverdale will step to the plate. He's going to go against the starting pitcher, Brady Hawkins. Coverdale waits on that first pitch. Hawkins from the windup, and we are underway here in the 2020 season as the first pitch is taken for strike one right at 1 o'clock here on this Sunday afternoon. 340 down the line in left and right field. 374 in the gaps. And the 0-1 pitch is outside, and it's now 1-1 to the leadoff hitter, Coverdale. 420 straight away, dead center. American flag right in that, right in dead center. The 1-1 pitch from Hawkins. There's a ground ball right side through for a base hit, and Post 8 is off with the leadoff single. And Andrew Coverdale picking up right where he left off last summer. With the team in batting average at 307, and he gets a first hit here for Pierre Post 8 in the 2020 season. River Iverson will step to the plate, 5 for 13 against Mitchell when they went 1-2 against the Colonels last year in summer baseball. Iverson went 5 for 13, playing left field here in this game. Hawkins will have to go from the stretch right away. Here's the first pitch to Iverson. He'll look to drop down a bunt. He'll pop it up behind the catcher, Ryan McGinnis, and it'll land foul. That's 0-1 to Iverson. From left to right in the outfield, Isaac Rue playing left field, Peyton Nash and Nick Lord. From left to right in the infield, Austin Kerr, Jonah Schmidt, Kobe Larson, and Brady Burrows. Ryan McGinnis, again, the catcher behind home plate here for Mitchell, and Brady Hawkins is the pitcher. They'll start game 3 for Mitchell. They went 0-2 yesterday against Rapid City Post 22 out in Rapid City. The 0-1 pitch. That was at the knees, taken for strike 2, and it's quickly 0-2 to the left fielder, River Iverson. Post 22 with 2 big wins to open up their season over Mitchell, as they won 18-5 and 8-5 over the Colonels. The 0-2 pitch. That one is grounded over the head of the pitcher, Hawkins. The throw to first is not in time. Coverdale's in between second and third. The throw over is in time, and Coverdale is out at third. So Iverson gets a base hit as he places in a perfect spot. Another infield hit. He had plenty of those last summer.
Shortstop Garrett Stout.
But then that infield single will have Coverdale as he got in between second and third, trying to get over into third base, and the pitcher Hawkins was able to get the throw from Rose and make the tag. So it's a 5-3-1 on Coverdale being retired for the first out. Garrett Stout, the left-handed hitting shortstop, will step to the plate. That one 4 for 13 against Mitchell last year in those 3 games. Hawkins from the stretch. First pitch to Stout. is off speed, taken for strike one. So here, these first 9 hitters, the first time they see a pitch is the first live pitch they've seen since they were here last year in the state tournament. The 0-1 pitch to Stout. This is inside, a little low, 1-1 to the shortstop. And Mitchell was the site for the state tournament last year. The Governors went Post State went 1-2. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Stout. That one misses outside. Now 2-1 to the left-hander. On deck is Andy Gordon, the first baseman. Ray Zabel will follow him. That's Brian White's over there at third base. Coach Nas, the first base coach here for Pierre Post State. The 2-1. That one's chopped at the plate, high up in the air. Going to go for Hawkins. So underhand, the flip to the first baseman, Bros. It works as a sacrifice, although it will not go down as a sacrifice. And there's 2 down as Iverson is at second base. And Andy Gordon. Gordon did not get a hit against Mitchell last year. Went 0 for 4 in those 3 games. Guy that worked his way into the lineup very early on in the high school season back in 2019. As well as he hit the ball in his first pitch coming in, and that one's low for ball 1. 2 hits so far here in the inning. Coverdale was retired after he tried to get from second to third on the infield hit from Iverson. Iverson advanced to second on the ground ball from Stouts. And the 1-0 pitch is missed low again from Hawkins to Gordon, and it's now 2-0. Wind's going to be a factor. Well, it's straight out right now, more towards left field. That's some pretty heavy gusts come through as we were talking with Coach Brian White in the pregame interview. 2-1 is fouled off the equipment of the catcher McGinnis, and it's now 2-1. Good crowd here for this first game, and the Pierce side over to the right. Mitchell here in the left. We're in the third base side is where all the Mitchell fans are sitting. For the most part, says we'll talk more about that too as we go along. There's a ground ball to the left side. Diving play by the third baseman. Kerr gets up. The throw to first is low and scooped out by the first baseman, Bros. To end the inning. What a great diving play from Austin Kerr. Saves a run. And we have played a half inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the first. Pierre and Mitchell are scoreless. You're listening to Pierre Post State on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Mitchell, the bottom of the first, as we'll go through the lineup as well here for Mitchell. Jonah Schmidt will lead off, playing shortstop. Austin Kerr, the third baseman, who made that fine diving play to end the top of the first inning. He's going to bat second and play third. Kobe Larson, the second batting third. Brady Hawkins will bat cleanup, and he is the pitcher here in game 1. Peyton Nash, the center fielder, batting fifth. Brady Bros is batting sixth, playing first base. Ryan McGinnis is playing as the catcher, batting seventh. Nick Lord, the right fielder, batting eighth, and Isaac Brewer, the left fielder, batting ninth. First pitch from Jack Van Camp is taken for strike one to Jonah Schmidt, the shortstop, here in the game number 1. Schmidt went 1 for 2 against Pierre last year. The 0-1 pitch, that one's flown out towards right field, coming in on it, is going to fall for a base hit in front of McGuire Rasky. And so both leadoff man gets a base hit for both Pierre and Mitchell. And we'll see what Mitchell can do with their leadoff man aboard. That'll bring in Austin Kerr, who did not play against Pierre in last summer. It's been first pitch to him as Van Camp works from the stretch is up high for ball one. From left to right here for Pierre is Iverson, Lusk, and Rasky in the outfield. Keno, Stout, Coverdale, and Gordon around the infield from left to right. The 1-0 inside corner at the letters for strike one. And then Hinkle is behind the plate. Jack Van Camp is the pitcher. Hinkle caught every inning except for one last year for Pierre. That includes all doubleheaders, all single games. That one is a line shot into the dugout. Coach White getting out of the way of that one. And it's now 1-2. Pierre was just a little bit behind that one. Fouled into the first base dugout. Here's the 1-2 from Van Camp. That one is a curveball in the dirt. Good pitch there from Van Camp, but Kerr didn't bite. Now 2-2 to the third baseman. No score here in the bottom of the first. Both teams have their leadoff man aboard. As Schmidt leads away from first, the 1-2. Ground ball to the first base side. That one's going to get just foul. As Gordon was able to stab it over there on the foul line of first base. Again, that wind is going to be a factor as it blows out towards left field, blowing out towards left field. And Coach White said, maybe you have to play a little bit deeper because of that wind. Runner is moving, pitch is high, Hinkle drops it, and it's stolen base for Jonas Schmidt. And it's now a full count to the third baseman, Austin Kerr. Cardinals will play just in front of the bag at third base, right at the edge of the grass. 3-2. There's a ground ball to the right side. Good job there by Kerr to move the runner over to third as Coverdale will throw to first. And there's the first out here in the bottom of the first inning. But again, Schmidt will move to third base. And that goes down as a quality at bat for Austin Kerr as he moves that runner over to third. And their first run is 90 feet away. Here's Kobe Larson, the second baseman. 3 for 9 against Pierre last year. First pitch is taken just high for ball one. Last season for Kobe Larson hit .275. Drove in 34 runs as that's 1-0 pitch is fouled off of the netting on the first base dugout. And it's now 1-1. 34 runs batted in for Kobe Larson. .275 batting average. On base at .439. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1. Straight away in the outfield here for all three members, Iverson, Lusk, and Rasky. They came from the windup, the 2-1. Inside corner just misses, and it's now 3-1. So the number 3 hitter, Kobe Larson. The pitcher, Brady Hawkins, is on deck. Here's Van Camp, the left-hander, 3-1. High for ball 4. And Larson draws the first walk.
The walk brings up pitcher
the game for either
Brady
side.
Hawkins.
Double plays back in order as Hawkins will step to the plate. Hawkins last season hit .420 for Mitchell. 63 hits. Led the team in hits. Led the team in batting average. 53 runs batted in and 2 home runs. 7 doubles, 3 triples. On base percentage of .539. So it's a tough out. First pitch from Van Camp. Grounded. Third baseman Link Keenels will throw to second. It's low and Coverdale unable to scoop it out. And the first run will score as Schmidt will come in to score.
Fielder's choice RBI brings to the plate the center fielder, Peyton Nash.
They're called a fielder's choice, giving RBI to Brady Hawkins. It's 1-0 here for Mitchell, post 18. Goes first and second as Peyton Nash will step to the plate. Center fielder here in game number 1. First pitch from Van Camp at the letters for strike 1. So what could have been a double play ball, just a little bit low on the throw to Coverdale, unable to scoop it out. And so everybody was safe. There's a line shot to left field. That one's down for a base hit. Iverson will come up and throw, try to score. Is runner. He is going to score. The throw to second, and unable to get a tag down with Coverdale there, so an RBI double.
RBI single by Nash.
That should be a single with the throw coming in. Larson will score, and it's now 2-0 here for Mitchell. That's second and third for Brady Bros. Still just one out here in the bottom of the first inning. 2-0 lead here for Mitchell. There's a line shot caught by Stout. Quick throw to second is not in time. Coverdale almost. They almost had a double off that second base.
Pitcher Ryan McGinnis.
A hard hit ball from Bros. And there's a second out. They did give Kenols an error on that throw. So here is Ryan McGinnis, the catcher, with second and third and 2 away. First pitch is up high for ball 1. For Post States, yeah, we're here in the bottom of the first inning, but a couple more guys are added to the roster than from last year. The 1-0 is inside, 2-0. Here to the catcher, McGinnis. You have the guys like Elliott Life that have been added to the roster. Colin Bergman, who threw a couple innings for Pierre Post State. Justin Hulitz, that one gets away. The backstop coming home to score. The throw is going to overthrow Van Camp, and the run is going to score. Brady Hawkins will come in, and it's now 3-0. Peyton Nash will get to third. Overthrew Van Camp, but Stout and Coverdale were there to back it up, so Nash was unable to try and score. That took a good hop off that the backstop, and a strong throw and an accurate throw would have actually most likely would have been able to get Brady Hawkins. The 3-0 pitch. This is inside, and a 4-pitch walk to McGinnis.
The walk brings to the plate right fielder Nick Lord.
Here comes Nick Lord, the 8th man to come to the plates here in the bottom of the first. First and third with 2 away. Nick will flash the signs from in front of home plate. Coach White talked about maybe the bunt coverage wasn't going to be what you're used to seeing in terms of being able to work on that in practice. First pitch is taken for strike 1 to Nick Lord, the right fielder. Practice was a little bit different this summer, getting things ready. Quick throw to first. That one's going to get away from the first baseman, Gordon. Another run's going to score. And rounding first or second and heading to third is McGinnis, and he's going to stand up on third base. So another error is going to be charged to Post States. And Nash is going to come in to score. McGinnis is going to go all the way to third. And the wheels have fallen off a little bit here in the first inning for Post State. They trail 4-0. 3 separate errors so far. The 0-1 is missed outside. 1-1 to Lord. This is Nick Lord's first at-bats here with Post 18 here this summer for the last 2 years. This is his first chance for the Senior Legion team. As 1-1 is missed high and outside. 2-1, I should say, that did. They had games yesterday, but against Pierre, he did not have an at-bats. 2-1 pitch. Swing and miss, and it's now 2-2. Isaac Rue is on deck. He's the 9th place hitter. We've almost gone all the way through here in the bottom of the first. 2-2 on its way. Curveball looked at for strike 3. And Lord will go down for the first strikeout of the ball game.
Post 18.
4 runs.
Coming up for Post 8. The top of the second is Zabel, Rasky, and Keyhole.
3 errors and 1 man left on base. There for Mitchell Post 18. So we've played 1 full inning, and Mitchell has a 4-0 lead. Back in a minute. You're listening to Pierre Post State Baseball on today's KCCR, today'skccr.com. Top of the second here at Cottonwell Park. It's a 4-0 Mitchell lead. Gray Zabel lead things off, followed by McGuire Rasky and Lincoln Keenels. Here with them trailing 4-0 after the first inning. 2 runs and 3 errors.
Leading off the top of the second inning for Pierre Post State, the designated hitter, Gray Zabel.
Gray Zabel. He'll step to the plate. Team leader in runs batted in last year with 26. The left-hander will wait on the first pitch. And he chops this one right in front of the plate, right in the grass. The throw to first is in time, and 1 pitch and 1 out. Here to open up the top of the second.
Brings up right fielder McGuire Rasky.
Here's McGuire Rasky, the right fielder. Rasky missed a considerable amount of time last year due to a broken hand. And would pitch, but did not hit very much late in the season. Because that right hand is one that he broke, and just unable to truly get that to feel good, to swing. But he was obviously a left-hander able to throw as much as the pitch counts will let him. 1-1 the counts to the right fielder, McGuire Rasky. Here's the 1-1 from Hawkins. Rasky will foul that one off the left side. That one stays in the field of play. So it's now 1-2. On deck is the third baseman, Lincoln Keenels. Here's the 1 from Hawkins. That one misses high and inside. Now 2-2. For this Superior team, the 2-2 pitch. That one's grounded to the second baseman. Larson will charge. The throw to first is in time. And 2 quickly are gone here in the top of the second. Here's Lincoln Keenels, his first Senior Legion at-bats. As he had an excellent freshman season for the Pierre Governor basketball team. The third baseman here in game number 1, the first pitch to Keenels. He'll swing and foul it back to the screen. He's Gray is able to only 2 guys so far in the first 7 that swung at the first pitch. Here's the 0-1 to Keenels. That one misses outside. 1-1. Again, March 13th was the last time that we had any games be played in the state of South Dakota. Outside of Mitchell, obviously playing yesterday. Keenels checks his swing, goes through, and now 1-2. Here is the 1-2 pitch. That one's fouled back to the screen again. It continues to be 1-2. The White Capitals played on that Friday. And since then, it's been everything was canceled, postponed until today. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. And that will retire the side. 1-2-3 inning for Brady Hawkins.
Coming up in the bottom
we head to the bottom of the second. Mitchell leads 4-0. Back in a minute. You're listening to Pierre Post State Baseball on today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com.
Leading off for Post 18 at the bottom of the second, left fielder Isaac Rue.
Isaac Rue will lead things off here in the bottom of the second inning as Mitchell leads 4-0. It's Rue, then back to the top of the order, and Jonah Schmidt and Austin Kerr. First pitch from Jack Van Camp is outside for ball 1. Van Camp had to work around three different Pierre Governor errors, post-8 errors in that first inning. The 1-0 is outside, now 2-0. Give you a little bit back to get back into the post-8 mindset. St. Pierre Governor's 2-0 pitch is outside, 3-0. The leadoff man, Isaac Rue. Little Schmidt is on deck. Austin Kerr after him. The 3-0, taking all the way. And strike one is called to the left fielder, Rue. Rue only had 2 at-bats, went 0 for 2 in those 2 against Pierre last year. The 3-1. High outside and a leadoff walk.
Leadoff walk for Rue brings up shortstop Jonah Schmidt.
Second walk issued by Van Camp as he works into his second inning. Jonah Schmidt got a base hit to lead things off in the bottom of the first, stole second, and came around to score on the fielder's choice error committed by the third baseman Keno. So lay down a bunt. Van Camp will fall to the ground, throw from his behind, and it's not going to be in time as I believe maybe that cleat got caught in some grass. And
Infield hit for Schmidt.
Keno looked like it
Third baseman
saw the play on it. Van
Austin
Camp was able to grab it, but he couldn't keep his footing. So it'll be an infield single for Schmidt, who's now 2 for 2. Austin Kerr, he ground out to the second baseman. He'll lay down another bunt. That one's going to go foul. And it's 0-1. Van Camp slipped again coming off the mound. Kerr had a solid at-bat in his first plate appearance with Schmidt at second base. Grounded right to Coverdale. The only play was the first base and allowing Schmidt to move 90 feet into scoring position. The 0-1 pitch. Try and drop down another bunt. That one's going to be right on the third base line. Hinkle will field. The throw to first is in time. So the sacrifice is good from Kerr.
Sacrifice is successful for Kerr, bringing to the plate second baseman
Now the
Kobe
double
Larson.
play threat is nixed as it's going to be second and third with one down. Kobe Larson, the second baseman, steps to the plate. He walked his first time, so that was the third walk that had been issued to lead off the inning. First pitch, off speed, buckled Larson, and he took it for strike one. So here's one out. 2 men are already in scoring position again here for Mitchell as they're looking to attack on their 4-0 lead. One is in the dirt outside for ball one. A good block there from the catcher, Cade Hinkle. Much as Hinkle catches, joked with him in the prior to the game. That's what he wears to go to bed. Puts the shin guards on and goes to sleep. 1-1 pitch. Outside edge, taken for strike 2. That's now 1-2 to Larson. Infield is drawn in here for Pierre. We're going to keep it a 4-0 game. Get that ball still on the ground. Here's the 1-2. One again in the dirt. Another good block from Hinkle, and it's now 2-2. Keenels, Stout, Coverdale, and Gordon around the infield. All playing at the edge of the infield dirt. The 2-2 is missed outside, now 3-2. 4 runs, 3 hits so far, 3 errors for Pierre. Mitchell's not committed an error yet. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Misses upstairs, and it will be a one-out walk. And the bases are now loaded for a man who is very tough to get out. And Brady Hawkins. And the second walk issued. And we'll have a mound visit here from, I believe, that is Peyton Zabel that's made his way out there to talk with Van Camp. It is. So, Peyton Zabel really from last summer has taking on a bigger role, especially the senior leadership team, actually through all the levels. And it's really gotten a good work implemented into these pitchers. As the first pitch to Hawkins misses outside for ball one. On their Twitter page, as he posted quite a bit of the increased velocity for a lot of these pitchers throughout the season, even in mid-season. 1-0 is missed outside, 2-0. You think, especially with high school kids, that as the season goes on, the arm starts to hurt a little bit, the velocity goes down, and you're not throwing as fast as what you were at the beginning of the season, but the guys were increasing their velocity through the season. 2-0 is upstairs, 3-0, so now Van Camp's got to throw a strike here because there's nowhere to put Hawkins. Peyton Nash is on deck. Here is the 3-0 pitch. That one right over for strike one. It's now 3-1. Boy, if that's a 2-1 pitch or a 2-0 pitch to Hawkins, that's one that he would love to see again from Van Camp. From the windup, the left-hander will deal the 3-1. Here's a ground ball left side. Keenholz will throw to second. Coverdale gets one. The throw to first is not in time. Gordon comes off the bag to field it. They do get the one. Hawkins got another fielder's choice. But he does another RBI as Isaac Root comes in to score. So now it's first and third with 2 down. And a 5-0 Mitchell lead here in the bottom of the second. First of 2 games today. Van Camp first pitch is missed upstairs as he, from the stretch, hesitated there a little longer of a step up and a throw of the plates. Nash, the left-hander, 1 for 1 so far, base hit with an RBI. That one's fouled back and out of play. And it's now 1-1 to the center fielder. Nash hit .372 last year. Drove in 29 runs. And 5 doubles and 3 triples. Runner is stealing for second. The throw over to second. That one's going to go into center field. And the run's going to score. Lusk will come in and not be able to field it and throw in time. As heading to third is Brady Hawkins. So another run is given to Mitchell. And it's now 6-0. Count is 1-2 to Peyton Nash. Pierre now with 4 errors. That's a ground ball. The shortstop Stout. He'll field long throw to first. Is pulling Gordon off the bag. And he is safe at first base. Might have been safe even with
the shortstop brings up the
strong
first
throw, but they're going to give an error to Stout. Another run scores, and now it's the 5th error of the game given to Pierre. And there's a big difference right now. 5 errors to none. And the score is 7-0 lead for Mitchell. Brady Bros lined out to the shortstop Stout. First pitch is taken for strike 1 at the knees. 7 runs on only 3 hits so far for Mitchell. 5 errors have gifted them a good, comfy lead here in the bottom of the second. Runner is stealing the throw to second. Will take a couple hops, and in safely is Nash. The stolen base. Boy, Nash, he got some pretty good wheels on him. So it's 1-1 to the first baseman, Bros. 1-1 hits Bros. And he will head to first.
Brings to the plate the catcher, Ryan McGinnis.
So for the second straight inning, 8 men will at least come to the plate. As Ryan McGinnis, the catcher, he drew a walk in his first plate appearance. Have some action in the right field bullpen. And Aaron Booth warming up for Pierre. First pitch is missed outside for ball 1. Not the start that Pierre was looking for here in this ball game. A lot of work in front of him here, and still trying to get out of this bottom of the second. 1-0 pitch is taken for strike 1, now 1-1. Every game counts here in this season. A lot of times, or it has been with those region tournaments, As that one's going to be grounded to the right side. It's going to die on the first base line. Van Camp will pick it up and make the tag. And that will retire the side here in the bottom
The pitcher tags out
of the second.
To end the inning. That'll end the bottom.
So another
of the second
3-run
post 18.
score.
Coming up for post 8 will be
On
Lusk.
just one hit.
Coverdale.
Another 2 errors. And 2 men left on base. We have played 2 completes. And it is a 7-0 lead for Mitchell. Back in a minute. You're listening to Post 8 Baseball on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. We welcome you back here to Mitchell. It's a 7-0 lead for Mitchell. As Post State comes to the plate here at the top of the 3rd inning. But to kind of finish that thought with every game matters here. Before it was how you did, and you'd be kind of seated in that way of how you did in your region. But now there are no regions this year. There were going to be anyway. They're going to have a somewhat of it would have been like a super regional.
Post 8, the center fielder,
had
Matt
a
Lusk.
best of 3, seeded 1 through 16, or excuse me, seeded 1 through 14 with the state's tournament host would be one of those teams that would automatically qualify for the state tournament. But now they're going to seed 1 through 16 as the first pitch is missed outside for ball 1 to Matt Lusk, his first chance here. So every South Dakota team that you play, and most likely a lot of these teams will be playing only South Dakota teams this summer. The 1-0 is take on the outside corner for strike 1. The 1-1 pitch is missed for ball 2 to Matt Lusk. Went 2 for 6 against Mitchell last year. And again, this going to be seeded 1 through 16. You play a best of 3. The winner will advance to another regional as that one's outside now 3-1. So 2 different types of regionals. So the higher seed will host, but then you'll play that first round with those 16 teams, and the next round with those 8s, and the final 4 will meet in the state tournament. That one gets through the hole to the right side, and Matt Lusk has appears 3rd hitting the ball game. A good job there from Lusk to go the other way. Leadoff man is aboard for the second time in 3 innings. Now to bring in Cade Hinkle, the catcher, who went 3 for 8 against Mitchell last year. Hinkle is a guy that struggled to hit the ball in the spring season, but in the summer really started to turn things on and plenty of extra base hits. 3 for 8 batting average against a team for a season isn't anything to scoff at. First pitch is out inside for ball 1 to Hinkle. So the schedule all sorts of difference than what it was at the beginning. We didn't really even get a chance to release that schedule for Post State, as the 1-0 pitch is missed low for ball 2. But normally that Dakota Classic schedule is scheduled for what would be next weekend. The 2-0 pitch is outside now 3-0 to Hinkle. That is now going to be taking place in July. This weekend, we should have been in Rapid City for a 4-day tournament. That's also going to be in July. The Minot tournament that Post State usually go to, that stays the same on that weekend late in June, later this month. 3-0 pitch is just on the outside edge, just at the knees, 3-1. Hinkle is about ready to toss that bat towards the first base dugout. Instead, he'll dig back in on a 3-1 count. As Hawkins, the right-hander, instead will check over to first, diving back in safely as Lusk. And of course, there's a few more games added into the schedule. Next Friday, we go to Post 22. They were actually not on the schedule at all this year. Post State was not going to play Post 22 at all in the regular season outside of potentially in some tournaments. 3-1 on the outside edge again, now 3-2. So the count is full. We'll see if maybe Lusk will get a head start. Nobody out here in the top of the third inning. Hawkins will get the sign. He'll come set. And from the stretch, the 3-2. Taken for strike three. The throw to second is not in time. It gets into center field. Lusk will take off for third. The throw into third is going to be late. Although Hinkle strikes out looking,
second baseman
Lusk will get into scoring position with 1 out. And that'll be the first error of the ball game for Mitchell. As McGinnis couldn't get it all the way to second base, and Schmidt couldn't pick it out. They got behind Larson, who was trying to back up on the throw to second. Here's Andrew Coverdale. He'll shoot one up towards left field. That one's going to get over the head of the left fielder, Ruin. That's down for a base hit. It's going to hop over the wall for a ground roll double. And Andrew Coverdale puts a charge into that one in an RBI double. And Post State is on the board. Their first runs of the 2020 season. And Coverdale is now 2 for 2 here in this ball game. And McGinnis will go out and talk with his starting pitcher, Brady Hawkins. Iverson also got a base hit. The first two guys reached base in that first inning for Post State. But Coverdale was thrown out trying to get to third base on that infield single. And Iverson was left stranded at second base in that first. So 1 run is scored here at the top of the third, 7-1. Trying to climb that ladder all the way back into this ball game. First pitch to Iverson. He'll pop this one up foul. He'll get into the stands and he'll land the bleachers right in the middle of both Pierre and Mitchell faithful that are here and spread apart. Their communities are going to keep themselves for the most part this summer. The 0-1 here to Iverson. Swing and miss. 0-2. So Mitchell, the third base dugout, Pierre in the first base dugout. All the Pierre fans are over on the first base side of home plate. There's a nice gap between the Mitchell and Pierre fans. The Mitchell fans are over here on the left field side as Iverson swings and misses a pitch out of the strike zone, and he strikes out.
Shortstop, Garrett Stout.
And there's 2 down. Third strikeout of the ball game for Hawkins. And now with Coverdale at second, looking for a good jump if Stout can put it into the outfield to try and score. All about chipping away at this point here at the top of the third inning. First pitch to Stout. Taking up the letters for strike 1. Stout ground out to the pitcher in his first at-bat. Chopping off the plate. An underhand toss from Hawkins as the first baseman, Bros, retired him in that first inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch to the shortstop. That one's missed high for ball 1. So Stout going to go play baseball next year at South Dakota State. The 1-1 pitch to the shortstop. That one's fouled away, 1-2. And his good buddy Gray Zabel is going to play football here this fall for North Dakota State. So those two guys will have a fun rivalry when it comes to both football and baseball, I guess, for all the sports here for the next couple of years. 1-2 is at the letters, just tied, and it's now 2-2. Tough pitch to lay off, but evens the count here, 2-2 with a runner at second. There's a pitch from Hawkins. Grounded down the first base line, but foul. It remains at 2-2. First of 2 games here this afternoon to start the season. I thought it was going to Post 22, going to Rapid City on Friday. This coming Friday to play Post 22 for a doubleheader. 2-2 pitch. That was popped up on the left side. Coverdale around third coming in. Rue coming in. He can't make the diving catch. Stout will take off for a second. He's in with an RBI double.
RBI
Ball
double
didn't actually
for Stout.
travel maybe as far as Rue thought it was going to.
Gordon.
And maybe went farther than what Schmidt was thinking it was going to. That one got down for an RBI double, and Coverdale comes in to score. And the way Rue was tracking that ball, maybe he was thinking that wind is that American flag out there in center field is really blowing out towards the outfield. That one's floated up towards the shortstop coming in. The wind maybe got that one as Andy will line out to the shortstop to end the inning. And that will retire the side, but Post State scores 2 runs. They get it on 3 hits. 1 error in the inning, and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the third. Post State is chipped away, but they still trail 7-2. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com.
Now pitching for Pierre Post 8. For 16, Aaron Booth.
Aaron Booth will be the new pitcher here for Post State as Jack Van Camp goes 2 innings. He allowed 7 runs, but earned runs, that one's going to be a little bit more tougher to figure out because of all the errors that Post State had 5 errors in those 2 innings, so not too many runs are going to be earned. Did give up 3 hits. Did not strike. It had 1 strikeout. And walked 3 guys and hit another man in those 2 innings. So Aaron Booth now will take over.
Leading off for Mitchell
His
Post
first
18
chance to
in the
throw
bottom of the
here
third.
for Senior
Right
Legion
fielder,
this year. He threw
Lord.
a couple different times. All he did was come to pitch for the Senior Legion last year. They're against Sioux Falls East. As his first chance to throw here for the Senior Legion last year. First pitch is taken for strike 1 to the 8th place hitter, Nick Lord. He was the lone strikeout victim for Jack Van Camp in those 2 innings. Booth from the windup, the right-hander will deal the 0-1. That one's taken for strike 2, and it's 0-2. Booth got some good velocity on his fastball and has really been in the weight room lifting. Well, the 0-2 curveball, swing and a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to Nick Lord. And 3 pitches. Aaron Booth has got his first strikeout of the season. Isaac Rue drew a walk and came around to score. Back in the bottom of the second, he opened up the bottom of the second inning with that walk and came around to score to make it, at that point, 5-0. First pitch, a curveball in the dirt. And I just want to know here to the left fielder, Isaac Rue. Booth had several injuries in the football season last year. He's been a hard worker in the weight room. That one's a line drive, and Rue's got a base hit. Oh, and gets Rue on the left side of second base.
Single for Rue,
and Rue's got his
order. Shortstop, Jonah Schmidt.
Jonah Schmidt, he's 2 for 2. With 2 singles, he's scored both times. Again, that wind is causing some havoc. The fans are literally actually having to hold on to their hats so it doesn't get blown away. Pick off attempt. Back diving in safely is Rue at first base. I can hear a little bit into the microphones here as well at Mitchell. First pitch, that one's fouled back to Jonah Schmidt, the leadoff hitter in the lineup. Third man to come to the plate here this inning. Post State will be at home for the first time next week, Sunday. They take on Renner and Post 22 in a triangular. A chance for Renner and Post State for Post 22 to play each other and not have to drive. One team have to drive very, very far. And from opposite sides of the state. The defending state champions will be in town this coming Sunday. Pickoff attempt from Booth, and that one, again, diving back in safely as through. Post State right now out hitting Mitchell 5-4 as we play here in the bottom of the third inning, but they're down by 5 runs. There's a ground ball left side. That one gets through between short and third. And back-to-back singles for Mitchell, and 3 for 3 days so far for Jonas Schmidt. 3 singles for the shortstop, Schmidt. And Schmidt last year for Mitchell didn't get a whole lot of playing time, just went 9 for 46, so he hit under 200, but so far he's gotten 3 hits in this ball game. First pitch to Austin Kerr is a curveball that misses low. First and second with 1 down, 7-2 lead for Mitchell here in the bottom of the third inning. 1-0 pitch. That one is in the dirt, and a good block there from Hinkle, now 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. That one hits curve. So bases are loaded.
Load the bases for second baseman Kobe Larson.
Here is the number 3 hitter, Kobe Larson, to come to the plate. He has not recorded that bat yet. He's been walked both times. He's come to the dish. Came around and scored in the first inning. Was retired on a ground ball in the second. First pitch is a swinging a foul tip back to the screen. So Booth had a very good first at-bat with 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and a strikeout. And since then, he's given up two singles and a hit by pitch. Here's the 0-1. That one's in the dirt, and a really good block there by Hinkle. And keeps the bases loaded right now as Isaac Grew got a very good jump off that ball into the dirt. And he was scoring if that got past Hinkle. Here's the 1-1 from Booth. This is high, 2-1. And that win really causing havoc for not just the players, but for the fans here at Mitchell as well. 2-1 pitch. That one on the outside corner now, 2-2. And Booth's trying to get that second out here, looking for a ground ball or a strikeout. 2-2. Curveball. There's a ground ball, but it's going to get through for a base hit past Coverdale on the right side. Coming around, trying to score. Rasky will throw, cut off by Gordon, and only 1 run will score, so everybody moves station to station.
For Larson brings to the plate the pitcher,
and another RBI single for the Mitchell Colonels, and that is Kobe Larson that gets an RBI single. Bases will remain loaded. And here's Freddie Hawkins, 0 for 2 with 2 fielder's choice. Been on base both times. First pitch is in the dirt, and Hinkle was able to get that one out of the ground as well. Hawkins has got an RBI in both of those fielder's choices as well. The 1-0 pitch. That one misses low, now 2-0. Gordon and Keenholz are even at the bag, actually at the edge of the infield grass. Stout and Coverdale are back in double plate depth. Here's the 2-0 to Hawkins. Pops straight up in the air. It's in foul territory. The wind's causing it to go way over the left side. It's going to fall harmlessly. Boy, that first one up in the air, that was coming straight back right in front of us. And then that wind just took it straight over all the way to the third base dugout. And Hinkle had no chance. And even Keenholz at third base At first glance, I thought there was absolutely no way that he was going to have any play on that at all. 2-1. At the knees, 2-2. Another big pitch coming up here for Aaron Booth. To the cleanup hitter, Brady Hawkins. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball. That one just misses outside. Now 3-2. The umpire gave that. He moved his right hand, showing that it was outside. Now the count is full. Well, that curveball really froze Hawkins. 3-2 pitch. That one misses outside, and a walk to Hawkins. And a run scores.
Peyton Nash.
So those 2 runs that Post State scored are quickly canceled out by the 2 runs here with 1 down in this bottom of the 3rd inning. So it's back to a 7-run lead for Post 18. First pitch, that one goes off the shoulder of Finkel. Coming in to score will be Austin Kerr on the wild pitch, and it's now 2nd and 3rd with 1 down, and it's now 10-2. An 8-run lead here for the Mitchell Colonels. Nash is 1 for 2. Had an RBI single and also reached on an air. The 1-0 pitch is missed high. Now 2-0 to the center fielder. The 2-0 pitch. That one's chopped foul at home plate. Now 2-1. So an 8-run lead here for Mitchell in game number 1. And Post State's got a lot of work in front of them once again, more so than they did after the 2nd inning. There's a fly ball out towards right field. Grasky gets turned around. He's still going back on it. He'll make the catch. Tagging at 2nd and 3rd are both Hawkins and Larson will come in to score. An RBI sac fly makes it a 9-run lead for Mitchell.
First baseman Brady Bros.
And Brady Bros now will step to the plate. 2 down here in the bottom of the 3rd. So again, the 8th man to come to the plate in this inning for Mitchell. All 3 innings have at least seen 8 men. First 2 saw exactly 8 men, and here's the 8th man right now. Rose is 0 for 1, lined out to the shortstop, and he was hit by a pitch in his last plate appearance. The 1-0 pitch. This high, 2-0. A little bit of somewhat of a rain shower, not too much of a rain shower. Right around noon here in Mitchell. There's a ground ball taken by the 3rd baseman Keenels. Throw to first is in time. So again, 8 men will come to the plate. So another 4-run score here in the inning. And Mitchell has opened this up to an 11-2 lead here after 3 innings. 4 runs on 3 hits. No errors in the inning, and 1 man left on base. We've played 3 completes. Mitchell has an 11-2 lead over Post State. Back in a minute, you're listening to Post State Baseball. Today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. Top of the 4th, 11-2 is the score as Mitchell leads. As Ray Zabel, McGuire Rasky, and Lincoln Keenels will lead things off here for Pierre. The Post State Junior Legion team having a good start to their season. They're leading 10-0 on Post 22.
Leading off the top of the fourth,
Rapid
8, the designated hitter,
in the third
Gray
inning.
Zabel.
Two different, the second and third inning, they've each scored 5 runs in the Junior Legion out west as they lead 10-0 over Post 22. Gray Zabel, the leadoff man. Here the first pitch from Hawkins is taken for strike one. Zabel grounded out to the catcher in his first at bat with that first pitch and hit it out 5 feet in front of home plate. Here's the 0-1 to the designated hitter. This is inside now, 1-1. Six hits for Mitchell, 5 so far for Post State. But the biggest difference is that one's grounded foul down the first base line. 5 errors for here, 1 so far for Mitchell. And that's a big reason why this game is 11-2, and Mitchell's got a comfortable lead as we play here in the top of the 4th inning. Third baseman Kerr in on the infield grass as the 1-2 pitch to the left-hander Zabel. That one misses outside, now 2-2. Outfield shading, the center fielder at least shading Zabel to pull and Peyton Nash. Wind's blowing from right to left. The 2-2. That one hits Zabel. And Zabel and Hawkins exchange a little words, probably some friendly words.
Brings to plate the right fielder, McGuire Rasky.
And McGuire Rasky will step to the plate. So McGuire Rasky, who is 0 for 1, he grounded out to the second baseman in his first at bat. They will lead away from first. First pitch from Hawkins. That one's fouled back to the screen. Oh, 1 to the right fielder. Post State, one thing about them, a lot of left-handed guys, left-handed throwers. And you don't see very often as the 0-1 misses inside on the off-speed pitch from Hawkins. He gets Rasky, Van Camp, who threw in game 1, but Rasky. We also have Elliott Life, Gray Zabel, those 4 guys, left-handers, in your rotation. And Rasky will get a base hit as he goes the other way out into the gap in left center field. Zabel's going to round third. He's going to try to score as Rue will pick it up, throw it to the shortstop is cut off. And Rasky's got an RBI double, and Zabel comes all the way around for first base to score.
Third baseman Lincoln Keenholz.
That's the third RBI double of the game for Post State. And it's a 11-3 game. As Lincoln Keenholz now will step to the plate and look to continue to add to this inning as Rasky is in score position. Keenholz struck out swinging his first time at the plate. First pitch to him is at the knees for strike 1. Keenholz going to be a sophomore next year, and on the Pierre Governor basketball team, the 0-1 pitch to him. This is outside 1-1. He made the varsity team, came off the bench for several games, and then worked his way into the starting lineup and never came back out of that starting lineup. 1-1 pitch is missed low, 2-1. Had a very good game. One of the few wins that they had. And they beat Sturgis. And then Zabel had the 2 best games for the Pierre Governors in that win, as Keenholz had over 30 points. 2-1. That one's fouled away. And it's now 2-2 to the third baseman. One to 3 is the score. 6-6 in hits. Mitchell up by 8 here in the top of the 4th inning. Nobody out. Runner on second. That's McGuire Rasky. 2-2 to Keenholz. That one's grounded back to the pitcher. Hawkins will field, not look to third, and just throw. And Rasky will advance 90 feet.
Ground out to the pitcher.
Keenholz will be
brings to the plate center fielder Matt Luss.
Retired for the first out. Here's Matt Lusk. He is 1 for 1 with the single. He was able to come around to score. He stole second. And there from the catcher McGinnis on a bad throw that got in the outfield allowed Lusk to get to third base. First pitch. Matt Lusk, another guy that maybe see him start a little bit more last year for the Pierre Governor High School baseball team. As that one's lined down the third base line, and that's fair in the outfield. And an RBI single for Matt Lusk. It's now 11-4. Vassar is starting to wake up a little bit here for the Post State. As Lusk is now 2 for 2. But Lusk had an excellent season in the high school ranks last year throwing, as he went with a perfect 0.00 ERA. The only time he gave up any kind of runs ended up actually being in the regional championship when they lost 1-0. It was an unearned run. They came around to score the only run in the game. And that loss that ended their season back in 2019. First pitch to Cade Hinkle is a swing and a miss. It's 0-1 to the catcher. Hinkle's 0 for 1. He struck out looking in his first at-bat. The 0-1 misses low for ball one. Lusk will lead away from first. 2 runs have already scored here in the inning. There's 1 out so far here in the top of the 4th. And here's the 1-1 from Hawkins. Swing and a miss. Lusk is on his way to second. The throw to second is in time. And they have gotten Lusk thrown out at second. A good throw from McGinnis and a good tag from the shortstop Schmidt. And there's now 2 down. And the count is 1-2 to Hinkle. Nobody on base now for the catcher Hinkle. The 1-2 from Hawkins. That one's fouled back and out of play. And we'll do it again. In 340 down the line in left and right, 374 in each of the gaps, and 420 in straightaway center. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Hinkle goes down on strikes for the second time. And that will retire the side here in the top of the 4th. So another 2-run score on 2 hits. No errors and no one left on base. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Post State trying to claw back again. They trail by 7, 11-4 to Mitchell. Back in a minute. You listen to Post State Baseball. Today is KCCR. Today is KCCR.com. And we welcome you back here as Pierre Post State, they trail 11-4 going to the bottom of the 4th inning. John Winkler here on this Sunday afternoon. Want to remind you that you're listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station just past the 2 o'clock hour. First games of the 2020 season.
For Mitchell Post 18, the catcher, Ryan McGinnis.
Ryan McGinnis will lead things off for Mitchell, the number 7 man in the order. As Mitchell, the first 3 innings, sent 8 guys to the plate in each of the first 3 innings. First pitch misses for ball 1 to the catcher, Ryan McGinnis, who is 0 for 1 so far. Drew a walk, got straight to third base in the first inning. As the 1-0 is right there for strike 1. And he grounded out to the pitcher, Van Camp. to end the bottom of the second. The 1-1 is in the dirt, and now 2-1. Van Camp went 2 innings of work. Aaron Booth took over in that third inning. 2-1 pitch. Outside, 3-1. Leadoff man has been on 2 of the 3 times so far for Mitchell. The 3-1, that one's fouled back to the screen, and then now it's a full count here at 3-2. Seven hits so far for Post States. 6 hits for Mitchell. 11-4 is their score here as we play in the bottom of the fourth. 3-2 pitch. And a line shot into the gap in right center field. That one's going to get down for a base hit. Krasky will cut it off. He's going to keep McGinnis at first base with a single, or leadoff single for the catcher.
McGinnis.
And his first hit here this afternoon.
For the right fielder, Nick Lord, is number 6, Toby Gillen.
Toby Gillen now will be the hitter for Mitchell. And he's going to hit for Nick Lord. Our first substitution in the batting order here this afternoon. Nick Lord went 0 for 2. And a strike. He struck out looking, also struck out swinging. So the first pitch to Gillen, he's going to square up, try and bunt and miss as he took a stab at it. And it's 0-1. Runner at first. The 0-1 pitch again. Gillen will try and drop down a bunt. That one will go foul. Almost hit the lip there around the circle at home plate. And Hinkle almost had to make a quick play because that would have almost looked like it was going to bounce and start to get back into fair territory. Don't see it very often, but have seen a ball take some crazy spins, go a lot of different directions. 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. And that spot in the order has not been kind to Mitchell.
To the plate, left fielder, Isaac Rue.
The third time the man in the number 8 spot has been a strikeout victim. And Gillen's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Number 9 in the order, Isaac Rue. One far, he scored twice. First pitch is looked at for strike 1. Rue walked and came around to score. Back in the bottom of the second. He had a base hit in the bottom of the third. And also came around to score. Pickoff attempt at first and diving back in safely is Ryan McGinnis. Some action in the bullpen in left field for Mitchell. Can't tell who that is. They just got done with their warm-up tosses. The 0-1 is popped sky high in the air, going out into shallow left field. That ball is going to drop, and I'm surprised as the umpire, I guess, saw Stout not have too much of a play on it.
The single for Rue brings up
been
second baseman.
I guess it wouldn't have been because they're not first and second. Excuse me. So the first and second could have seen the infield fly rule been called, but with the runner on first, it's just going to fall harmlessly for a base hit. Yeah, Stout lost in the sun and had no idea where that was going to fall. And no chance for Iverson to come in on that to make a play. So tough break for Post State. Back to the top of the order for Jonah Schmidt. Excuse me, pinch hitting is Hunter Stolle. For Jonah Schmidt, who is 3 for 3. The 1-0 is outside, 2-0. Austin Kerr is on deck. 11-4 is their score, bottom of the fourth inning. First and second, one down. The 1-1 pitch to Booth. There's a line shot. That one's going to get down for a base hit, and Stolle might have an RBI single. Coming up and throwing is Lusk. It's going to be cut off by Gordon. And it is now a
RBI single by
12-4.
Staley brings to the plate
Staley, I
third
should say.
baseman Austin Kerr.
And Staley has an RBI single, so that leadoff spot has been kind for Mitchell. They're now 4 for 4 between the two guys. And it's first and second for Austin Kerr, who is 0 for 2 so far. Excuse me, 0 for 1 so far. A sacrifice bunt in his second plate appearance. First pitch, a curveball missed inside, just off the plate. Ground out to the second baseman in the first inning. Sacrifice bunt in the second, and got hit by a pitch in the third. The 1-0 to Kerr. There's a ground ball right back to Booth. Throw to second, and that one's going to be picked up by Stout. It went into the dirt, and Stout did a good job to block it up and just grab at second base and make sure his foot was on the bag. So it's a fielder's choice.
Larson.
And Kobe Larson will come to the plate with first and third. Staley is retired on the fielder's choice. Larson is 1 for 1. He's been on base all 3 times with 2 walks. And RBI single in his last at-bat in the bottom of the third inning. First pitch to Larson. There's a ground ball. That one gets underneath the glove of Keatles. Right into left field for an RBI single for Larson.
RBI single for Larson.
He's now 2 for 2.
The pitcher, Brady Hawkins.
Now it's 13-4. So if a run comes in to score here in the bottom of the 4th inning, both states got to have to at least find a way to score 1 run in the top of the 5th. Keep the first game going. Popped up in foul territory. Hinkle chasing after it and carries it again. And it is going to drop for a foul ball. It's 0-1. Brady Hawkins, the pitcher. He's 0 for 2 so far. 2 fielder's choice. Also had a walk. And RBI in all 3 of those plate appearances. Looking to add to that RBI total. Although he can't take that fielder's choice or a walk to get an RBI this time. 0-1. Strike 2. And now Booth trying to find a way out of this inning. Keeping a 9-run deficit going in the top of the 5th. Anyway, from second is Kerr. At first is Larson. The 0-2. That one's in the dirt. And a good block there from Hinkle. Kicked away to the third base side. And so Kerr had no chance to advance to base. It's now 1-2. From the stretch, the 1-2 pitch. Curveball that misses low, now 2-2. For the pitcher here in game number 1. Man, that's a 530 on-base percentage last year. Hit 430 or 420 for Mitchell. The 2-2 was chopped foul behind home plate, and it remains even at 2-2. Booth from the stretch. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Ball gets in the dirt, but Hinkle makes the tag, and that will retire the side. Only 7 men come to the plate this inning. The 2 more runs scored for Mitchell on 4 hits in the inning. There were no errors, and 2 men left on base. 4 complete here in Mitchell. It's a 9-run lead for Mitchell, 13-4. Back in a minute, you're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com.
defensive changes for Mitchell Post 18. Staying in the game and playing right field is number 6, Colby Gillen. Now into the game playing third base is number 15, Josh Grostadier. And now pitching for Mitchell Post 18 is number 9, Austin Kerr.
Austin Kerr now into the game to pitch as Hawkins goes those 4 innings of work, allowing those 4 runs to score, giving up 7 hits. So Austin Kerr now in the game to throw. He has been in the game as he moves over from third base. Josh Grostadier is into the game.
Leading off for Post 8, in the top of the 5th inning, second baseman Andrew Coverdale
will remain in right field for Nick Lort. So into the lineup now is going to be Josh Grostadier for Brady Hawkins. Andrew Coverdale, as we back to the top of the order, is going to lead things off. The first pitch is outside for ball 1 to the second baseman. It was 2 for 2 with a single and a double, and the first RBI of the season for Post 8 in his last at-bat. 1-0 is upstairs, 2-0 to Coverdale. Very, very patient is Coverdale. 2-0 pitch is taken for strike 1, now 2-1. Very rarely has he swung at the first pitch when he comes up to the plate. 2-1 from Austin Kerr from the windup. There's a line shot right to Grostadier. Welcome to the ball game. Makes the
great play by the third baseman.
Yeah, that's the first out.
Left fielder River Iverson.
So Grostadier sees 3 pitches come across the plate and then a line shot right at him. And he's on his toes to make the catch for the first out. Here's River Iverson. He's 1 for 2, got a base hit in his first inning and struck out swinging in the top of the third. First pitch misses outside, 1-0. Here Stout is on deck, the number 3 hitter. 1-0 pitch is missed upstairs, 2-0. Up game 2 for you. All right, so we'll get through this one, and right now Post 8 trying to maybe close in that deficit a little bit, at least give them a little bit of comfort, a little bit of room for error in that bottom of the 5th inning. The 2-0 pitch is taken for strike 1 because if right now if Mitchell scores 1 run in the 5th, the ball game will end. And here has not been able to put up a 0 on Mitchell yet. 2-1 is outside, now 3-1. The 3-1 from Austin Kerr. That one misses, and Iverson draws a 1-out walk.
Walk for Iverson brings
He's on for the second time here this afternoon. Garrett Stout, he is 1 for 2 with an RBI double. He drove in Coverdale after Coverdale drove in Matt Lusk in that top of the third. As the left-handed hitting shortstop will dig in for his third at-bat. Iverson will lead away from first. Pickoff attempt goes off of the leg of Iverson, and it gets away from the first baseman and Bros, and Iverson will head up 90 feet to second base. And he will work his way into score position on the second air of the ball game from Mitchell. Now base hit should score Iverson. First pitch swinging from Stout, but he pops up in the infield. And the shortstop will make the catch. And Jonah Schmidt.
First baseman, Andy Gordon.
Excuse me, for Hunter Staley. And there's 2 away. Here's a cleanup hitter, Andy Gordon, 0 for 2, looking for that first hit here in this ball game and in the season for the first baseman. First pitch is above his head for ball 1. For Mitchell in the top of the 5th, the bottom of the 5th will be Nash, Bros, and McGinnis. There's a line shot. There's a base hit for Andy Gordon. 1 hop to the left fielder and Rube. And Iverson will be unable to score on that hard hit ball, but Gordon is on first with a 2-out single.
Single for Gordon brings up the designated hitter, Trey Zabel.
Big Gray Zabel to the plate. Zabel's 0 for 1. He grounded out to the catcher in his first at-bats. And he was hit by a pitch and came around to score all the way from first base on the double from McGuire Rasky last inning. Let's see what the DH can do here in his third plate appearance. They're going to try and draw Post State a little bit closer here. Down by 9 in the top of the fifth, 13-4. Shading pretty much straight away here for Zabel. The 1-0 is upstairs, 2-0. Iverson on the third, Gordon at first. 2 outs here in the top of the fifth. Wind still going straight out to left center. 2-0 pitch. That one's fouled back. That one will get in the stands and cause some of the fans to break apart for it to go through. And it's now 2-1. Kerr will go from the stretch. Gets the sign, the 2-1 pitch. That one's fouled out of play, too, and it's now 2-2. So deuces are wild here in the top of the fifth inning. 2 on, 2 outs, and the count is 2-2. They won 2 bombs last year. That was pretty early in the season. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one's popped up. Left side of the infield. Shortstop will come. 2 men left on base. Excuse me, 1 error in the inning. 2 men left on base. So we head to the bottom of the fifth. Post State cannot allow Mitchell to score, or they will be able to end this first game on a 10-run rule. So we'll be back in a minute. You're listening to Post State Baseball. Today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com.
Special birthday out there today, 18 years old, Reagan Weeby. Happy birthday, Reagan. Leading off the bottom of the fifth for Mitchell Post State teams, the center fielder, Peyton Nash.
Peyton Nash will get things started here in the bottom of the fifth inning. It is 5, 6, and 7. Nash, Burrows, and McGinnis. Mitchell looking for just 1 run here in the bottom of the fifth as they lead by 9, 13-4. First pitch from Aaron Booth is missed inside for ball 1. The 1-0 from Aaron Booth. That one's popped up to the left side, going into the outfield. Stout racing for it, diving for it is Iverson. Nobody can make the catch. And staying at first base is going to be Nash with a leadoff single.
Leadoff Nash brings to the plate first baseman Brady Rose.
Daniels was after it as well at Bermuda Triangle out there in the left, near the left foul line. And nobody was able to get over to it in time. A day without any wind, maybe that hangs up enough for Stout to make the play going to shallow left field, but they might have carried that just far enough to land in between the left and shortstop. That one's popped up into shallow center field. Lusk will come on. That one will drop. Throw to second is going to be in time as Nash tried to dive into second and was about 5 feet short.
Brings to the plate catcher Ryan
getting into second base. So that will be the first outs. And Bros will get a fielder's choice on a fly ball into center field. And the rare 8-6 fielder's choice in the scorebook. Ryan McGinnis with 1 down from the stretch. Booth will deliver the first pitch. That one gets into the dirt and away from Hinkle, and to second base will be Bros. Kobe Gillen is on deck. He got his first at-bat last inning. It's been 4-3, 4-2 in the fourth, and through the 4 innings for Mitchell. And multiple runs in every single inning so far. This will be the only inning that they won't be able to, not because of any reason other than if they score 1, the game will be over. I guess they still could if they had a 2-run home run. 2-0 pitch. That one bounces in the dirt, and a good block there from Hinkle. Got him squared in the chest. An activity out in the right field bullpen for Pierre. Not sure if anybody's trying to get loose for this game or potentially just trying to stay loose in terms of getting ready for game 2. 3-0 is missed, and it's now a walk for McGinnis and advancing to third as a ball get away from Hinkle.
Pass ball. Advances Burrows to third. Brings up the right fielder, Kobe Gillen.
So here's Kobe Gillen. First and third with 1 out. See where the middle of the infielders go in Coverdale and Stout, because they got to, if they stay back in the infield, they have to roll a double play. Otherwise, the ball game will be over. But they're going to come all the way in right now. They'd rather McGinnis get to second base on a ground ball towards them than and keep that runner at third base and try to roll a double play. First pitch misses high for ball 1 to Gillen. The 1-0 pitch, there's a fly ball out to left field. Iverson's going to make the catch and throw home. Tagging and trying to score, and to score will be Brady Burrows, and that will end the first game. A 14-4, 10-run roll win for Mitchell in game number 1. 14 runs, 11 hits, and 2 errors for Mitchell. 8 hits, 4 runs, 8 hits, and 5 errors for Pierre in that first game. We'll step aside for 3 minutes, and we'll come back with the post-game of game number 1. Also get you set for game number 2. You're listening to Post-State Baseball. Today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com.
We can have all the senior parents from Mitchell congregate over 6 feet apart in the grassy knoll area. All senior parents, 6 feet apart, grassy knoll. Right now, please see Greg Burrows. Not on some people, right now on you.
And we welcome you back here to Mitchell. First game is in the books, a 14-4 win for Mitchell in 5 innings. It runs in every single inning for Mitchell in that ball game. 4 runs in the first, 3 runs in the second, 4 in the third, 2 in the fourth, and that winning run coming home on a sac fly in the bottom of the 5th inning to end the ball game as Kobe Gillen got that sac fly to end it in game number 1. As Mitchell takes it 14-4. There's their first win of the season. They're now 1-2 after dropping the first 2 games to post 22 of the season last night or yesterday. As now they are 1-2 here to open up their first home games of the season. 4 Post States had 4 runs on 8 hits and 5 errors. They left 4 men on base in the ball game, and those 5 errors were troublesome. Those 5 errors all came in the first 2 innings. That allowed Mitchell to score 7 runs. And a big blow to that game because that first error, when it was committed, had a chance. Obviously, you can't expect a double play, but you can't assume a double play is going to be turned. But the hard hit ball from Brady Hawkins had the opportunity for a double play chance, which would have ended the inning without a run scoring. But instead, everybody was safe. 4 runs came in to score that inning. And another 3 came in the next inning with another 2 errors. So, and then 4 runs in that 3rd inning off 3 hits, and 2 runs in the 4th inning off 4 hits, and had a 1-run score on 1 hit in the 5th. Jack Van Camp and Aaron Booth combined for those 4 innings, 4 and a 3rd inning, or 4 2/3 innings of work, and allowed those 14 runs to score. We'll see who's going to get the ball in game number 2. Plenty of pitching for Post States, and we'll talk more about that as we get into game number 2. But that's going to be the difference for this season. Really, they have a lot of pitching anyway, but they've kind of added a couple more pitchers specifically for this year, and especially with how tight the schedule is, trying to play just about as many games as you normally do, but a little less time frame, and there's going to be a lot of pitchers being used throughout the season for Pierre. They've added more to it this season than what they had last year. So we'll see who gets the ball in game number 2 for Pierre in just a little bit. That time of the game was 1 hour and 31 minutes. So we'll get started right around 3 o'clock in game number 2. We'll step aside again. We'll come back and talk more Post State baseball. You listen to Pierre Post State baseball on today's KCCR. Today is KCCR.com.